We are living in a day and age where absolutely anyone in this world can create financial freedom for themselves. We have more opportunities available today than we ever have before in the history of the world. Absolutely anyone with an internet connection can do it. In this video, I am going to show you how to escape from the life of 9-to-5 mediocrity and establish financial freedom for yourself by starting your own digital marketing agency. Let's get right on. So in case you're not exactly sure what a digital marketing agency really is, you can watch my last video right here, which talks all about what a marketing agency is and what it entails. But in this video, we are going to talk about specifically how to build your own digital marketing agency in 2022 and 2023. Absolutely anyone can do it. You don't need any crazy startup capital to get into it. You don't need to have a bunch of skills. It's one of the simplest business models to get into, and there's absolutely nothing to hold you back. So let's jump right on into it. Before we get into the actual details of the video, let me explain what this video is going to cover. So first, we're going to start out by talking about why digital marketing is the perfect business to get into this year. We're going to talk about all the pros and all the cons and why all those together make this the perfect business model for anyone who wants to get started in the world of business in 2022 and 2023. After that, we are going to do a high-level overview of all of the steps of the digital marketing agency process, and we're going to cover what it takes to go from absolutely no digital marketing skills to getting your first client and what it takes to grow your business beyond that. And that's a pretty long process, but we're going to cover all of that in this video. And after we cover the high-level overview of the digital marketing agency business model, after that, we're going to talk about how much you can expect to earn from this business model within 6 months, within 12 months, and within 2 years, so that you can have realistic expectations of where you can see yourself in 6 months, in 12 months, and in 2 years. You're going to have very clear expectations of what you can expect to happen in terms of monetary returns after you watch this video. And after that, we are going to cover what skills you need to learn in order to succeed in this business model. And after that, we are going to end the video and you will be free to continue on in the course or to do whatever you want with your life. But I'm sure you are going to absolutely love this video because there is a lot of value packed into it. So be sure to watch till the end. We also added a couple different tips at the very end for anyone who is new to the digital marketing agency business model. These are some tips that I wish I had when I first got started in this business model, because I literally wasted years just running around in circles when I could have did a few things differently and avoided so many mistakes and saved so much time. So like I said, I'm also going to include those tips at the end of this video, and I'm sure they will amazingly help you in your digital marketing agency as you get started. But anyways, let's jump right on into it. Actually, rewind. Before we get into it, let me explain who I am. My name is Alan Woods, and I started my marketing agency back in December of 2018, so about almost 4 years at this point. And I was in the military at the time, and I was struggling. I hated the military. I knew I did not want to be there long term, and I knew that I had to find some way to do things differently because the 9-to-5 job was just, it was sucking the life out of me. So I bought a digital marketing agency course that costed $6,000, and I was absolutely terrified to buy it. But it was one of the best decisions of my life because everything that I learned was it came from that foundation. And at this point in time, I haven't worked a job in almost 2 years now. I'm living life completely on my own terms. I'm not rich, but I'm doing life exactly how I've always wanted to do it. I'm able to travel. I'm able to take care of my family. Life is just, it's beautiful. And I know that you can do the same thing if you take the right steps. And that's what I want to provide with this video. It's just a perfect blueprint to repeat that same process in your own life. So anyways, let's get into the video. So the very first thing that we're going to be talking about in this video is why a digital marketing agency is the perfect business to start in 2022 and 2023. I have literally tried 7 or 8 different business models in the past 9 years of my life, and digital marketing agencies are hands down one of the best ones that I've stumbled upon. It's so simple. If you do the work, you can see massive results. But anyways, let me explain why it's such an amazing business model so that you can understand as well. So what you need to realize is that as long as businesses exist in this world, marketing agencies are going to exist as well. So you are never going to go out of business. And the reason for that is because businesses want to focus on the service or product that they provide. And they don't want to focus on marketing. They don't want to focus on running ads. They don't want to focus on building a website. They want to focus on doing what they do best, which is providing their product or their service. So that is where digital marketing agencies come in. If you can go in front of a business or an entrepreneur and convince them that you can help them to see a return on investment by running marketing services for them, and you'll be saving them time as well, like more often than not, they will hire you. So what you need to realize is that this business is always going to be in demand. As long as businesses exist in this world, which is probably going to be forever. And it's much more expensive for a business to hire someone in-house compared to just hiring a marketing agency that specializes in that particular line of work. So most businesses will prefer to hire a marketing agency over hiring someone in-house. So that's one more reason why marketing agencies aren't going anywhere anytime soon. Another reason why a marketing agency is the perfect business to start in 2022 and 2023 is because you are in complete control of your time and your income. If you want to increase your income as a marketing agency owner, then you simply need to reach out to more prospects. It's literally that simple. Reach out to more prospects, do more sales calls, get more clients, and you are in complete control of that process. Now, it might require some work on your part, but compared to working a 9-to-5 job where you literally have to beg your boss to give you a 70-cent raise an hour over the course of a year, there's literally no comparison. You can double your income within a few months. You can triple your income within a few months if you put in the work and you prospect and you reach out to more prospective clients. And that's just not a possibility in the 9-to-5 world. You don't just increase your income by 20% in a year in the 9-to-5 world, let alone double it. It doesn't happen. So when you go down this marketing agency route, what you need to realize is that although it's going to be a tough path, you have so much more freedom and so much more control over your income and your time. And the third reason why this is the perfect business model to get into in 2023 is because everything is going online. We just had COVID a couple years back, and now we're having monkeypox. There's always something in this world, and everything is getting pushed to the online side of things. And with that, there is a much larger demand for marketing agencies because businesses are realizing that it's very important to have their online presence completely dialed in and optimized. So that's where you come in as a marketing agency. You come in and you let them know, like, hey, I can provide this service for you and help you to really stand out in the online world. And businesses are dying for that. Like they will pay you a lot if you can convince them that you can bring in more clients and make them look more professional online, because that's a very, very invaluable service. But anyways, those are the three main reasons why digital marketing agencies are one of the best business models to get into in 2022 and 2023. But let's move on and talk about the overall roadmap of what it looks like as you start your digital marketing agency. So the first step of the digital marketing agency process is to pick a niche. And don't worry, we're going to cover each of these in more detail in a little bit. But the first step, like I said, is to pick a niche. The second step of the agency process is to learn the skill set so that you can deliver an amazing service that will blow your clients away in that niche. The third step of the agency process is to prospect and to find potential clients in that niche who you can possibly work with. The fourth step of this process is to actually deliver results to your client after you have managed to sign someone on board. And the fifth step of the process is simply to systemize your processes and grow your business over time and bring in more clients. But anyways, those are the 5 steps of the agency process. It starts with choosing a niche, then you have to learn the skill set, then you have to prospect, then you have to deliver results to your client, and then you need to grow your business. But let's talk about each of those steps in more detail right now. So like I said, the first step of this agency roadmap process is to find a niche and focus on that niche. And during this step, there's 2 main questions that you need to be asking yourself. The first question is, who will you help? And the second question is, how will you help them? So as you are trying to figure out who you are going to be helping, you need to realize that the more specific you can get, the better it will be for you in the long term. And one thing to keep in mind here is that if you go for large businesses that have lots of revenue, it will be easier to charge them a large retainer fee compared to working with a smaller business. And what I mean by that is let's take, for example, if you decide to work with a masseuse versus a roofing contractor. So for a masseuse, their typical service package might charge their typical client about $80 per massage. On the other hand, a roofer, they might charge $10,000 per roof installation. So if you choose to work with a masseuse, they can't afford to pay you nearly as much money as a roofing contractor. Let's say that you manage to help the masseuse to sell, 50 massages at $80 over the course of a month. Overall, that will bring in $4,000 of revenue for that masseuse. And at best, out of that $4,000, they might pay you, 25%, which would be $1,000 as your service charge. On the other hand, let's take the roofer. If you help that roofer to get 2 sales over the course of a month, and each of those sales is worth $10,000 in revenue for them, that means they brought in $20,000 of revenue from your services. And even if they only pay you 5% of that back as a service fee, then you're still making a very large amount of money off of them. When you are trying to choose a niche to go into, and when you're trying to decide what type of business or entrepreneur you are going to serve, you need to consider the quality of your client. And when you target higher ticket services, you'll be able to charge much more for your services compared to lower end services like masseuses and towing services, and anything low end is going to give you much less money overall. Let's just leave it at that, plain and simple. So you just need to consider how much your target client can actually afford to pay you. You should go for bigger businesses, not just the small everyday person. They're not going to be able to afford high-end marketing services. Now, on the other hand, targeting the everyday person might be a good place to start your agency because it'll be easier to find that initial client base. And even if you start with your next door neighbor, for example, as your first client, or with your old friend from high school or college who has a business of their own now, even if you start with those everyday people, once you have reviews from them and they've gotten great results from your work, you can use those testimonials to help you to move up to higher end clients like the roofers and like the high end businesses that can afford to pay you more. So even if you don't plan to stay with those low end clients long term, it can be a good starting place initially. But anyways, during this step, you just need to get consistent on thinking of who you would like to be working with to provide them marketing services. Try to get as good of an idea in your mind of who you would like to be working with. And the second question to ask yourself during this step is, how are you going to help your target client? Are you going to help them to build a website? Are you going to help them to run ads? Are you going to help them with SEO, with social media? The answer to that question is going to determine what skills you need to learn in the next step. So really try to think of what type of service you would like to provide to your clients. And what you choose doesn't matter too much, because the truth of the matter is that you can make a killing with any of those services. I have seen millionaires building websites. I have seen millionaires running ads. I have seen millionaires running social media campaigns. Any of these options you can make massive amounts of money with. It's just about what appeals to you the most. If you're an artist, you might want to build websites. If you like to look at statistics and you're really geared towards the psychology side of things, you might want to go towards the ads end of this. So just figure out what appeals the most to you. So again, during this niche selection process, you need to figure out who you are going to be serving and what type of service you are going to provide to them. But anyways, that is the first step of the agency process. Let's move on to step 2. Okay guys, so like I said, step 2 of this process is to begin learning the skill sets so that you can provide excellent results to your agency clients. And what you need to realize about this step is that it is heavily influenced by the service that you chose in the last step. So if you haven't fully finished the last step, then it's tough to continue on to this step because you will have no clarity on what skills you need to learn. If you plan to run ads for your clients, you're going to need to learn completely different skills than if you plan to build websites for them. So you need to get very clear on what service you are going to provide in your digital marketing agency. That's the key initial foundation. If you don't do that, then everything else falls apart. Okay. But anyways, once you have decided on what specific service you are going to provide to your clients, I need you to realize this and take this Take this right now and please plant the idea deep within your mind, because most people, they get so in their own heads and they psych themselves out of building an amazing business because they feel like they're not ready. They get the imposter syndrome effect. So please, like I said, please look at me right now. Look at me right now and take this and put it deep in your head. Are you listening? Okay. Within 30 to 90 days, you can learn all of the skill sets required to run a digital marketing agency. Let me say that again. Within 30 to 90 days, maximum, you can learn all of the skills you need to learn to run a digital marketing agency. That's it. That is all you need. 30 to 90 days. Okay? Okay. Let me calm down. I'll sit back now. Relax. But my point in emphasizing that so heavily is that you do not need to be a master to get started. You don't. If you had to be a master, then 90% of agencies out there would not exist, because most of the workers at most of these agencies are complete and utter shit. It is what it is. So don't shoot yourself in the foot by wasting months and months and months trying to learn. You don't need to overdo it here. Read a few books so you can learn the foundational elements of that skill set that you're trying to get proficient within. Take a course or two on Udemy. They might cost you 25 to 50 bucks. Join Facebook groups that are based around that specific skill, and watch YouTube tutorials. That's really all you need to begin to learn the skill. You do not need to be a master. As long as you have some level of proficiency, you will be able to provide results for your client, and they will be willing to pay you for that. Don't psych yourself out. Spend 30 to 90 days fully learning the skill set, and then begin to get to work on finding clients. Don't spend 6 months or a year trying to learn this. That is not necessary. It's not. For me, myself, personally, I spent about 40 days trying to learn the different skill sets of digital marketing, and then I began looking for clients. And when I got my first client, I was honestly very nervous because I felt like I might not be able to provide quality results for them. But the thing about it is that the real learning begins when you have your first real client. And when you get your first client, you are going to learn and you are going to deliver amazing results to them. You are. Trust me, you are. You're going to do it. But you need to have the courage to learn the skill set quickly within 30 to 90 days, and then to begin doing outreach to find your first client. Don't spend 6 months or a year just learning. Just get to work. Implement what you're learning. Go find a client. So for example, if I was planning on running social media ads for, let's say for a therapist, I would spend about 30 to 60 days looking into different courses on Facebook ads and different books about Facebook ads and watching YouTube tutorials and just building a solid foundation of knowledge about Facebook ads and Instagram ads and any other social media ads. And I would only spend 30 to 90 days doing that. And after that, I would switch my focus to finding my first client. Now, I would still continue to keep learning as I'm searching for my first client. But once you have the initial foundational skill set, switch your focus to finding a client. And speaking of finding a client, we are going to cover that in step 3. All right, guys, so this video is getting a bit long, so we are going to put a pause in it for now, and we are going to pick it right back up where we left off right here in the next video of this course, How to Start Your Digital Marketing Agency Part 2. And I will see you there, right there. Click it right now.